Hi everybody. Good to see you all. See there's a few people watching already. Thanks for dropping by. This is our usual sort of Wednesday hang out and play around with patch stuff session. Nothing much new to report on the modules front other than I do have the latest version of the Nerdseq installed now, the Nerdseq firmware. We'll be going over that on Saturday in more detail. Needless to say, it has a lot of features that I was like, oh, I wish it had this, and the Vector does have this. So kind of timely, I've got to say, very timely. So, yeah, sorry. Also getting used to a sort of new interface here with YouTube because now I guess I got monetized. Woohoo! Anyway, okay, so I wanted to play around with one of the features in Nerdseq tonight. We'll get into it in more detail on Saturday, but I wanted to try out this quantization and so forth feature that's been added into tables now to do some sort of random generation plus generation plus quantization. So let's see what we can do with this. Let's patch up something real simple and see what it does. So we'll just take trigger and CV and we'll just use rings because it's simple. Oh my goodness, maybe we'll use rings. I'll have to get longer cables. Just a moment. One of these days, I'm going to get cables that are all the right length. Okay, CV. And trigger. Strum. And let's have this go out. Just straight out to the mixer. So really basic voice. Let's make Nerdseq do this cool new thing. All right, so we're gonna need a new pattern. And in the pattern, we're going to need a new table. So this is the stuff that got added, this range thing and this allowing of notes and quantizing and stuff like that. I haven't read the manual extensively yet, so by no means is this a tutorial or anything like that, but I'm gonna see. So there's different quantize settings for up, low, and coin. I bet you it's whether it quantizes by shifting up, down, or at random. So let's try up. A C major chord, all right. And now supposedly the range is what you want to set, and then you can do something like this. Let's be on the transpose, right? Oh, there's these presets, right now that you can choose to do. So triplet major, how about that? Is it okay that I need to do on this? Oops. Oh, it did it. Okay. Okay, so that's cool. There's a preset for transposing notes. So if I just go into this pattern here and put in like a C and then supposedly now there's also a way to make a pattern be of a certain length and not have to insert breaks, but I haven't quite looked at it yet. So let's see what this says. Volume. Too fast. Hang on. Just the tempo. The table almost guaranteedly needs to be adjusted too. Yeah, because you can see it's going very fast. We need speeds. Let's do speed 3. Cool. That's nice. Hi, Forrestine. Good to see you as always. So that's handy that there's like these built-in arpeggiations. Back to the table. Get it. This is good because one thing I was debating about getting a dedicated arpeggiator. But something like this gets me pretty damn close with just a table, so. So that's one thing. Now let's make another pattern. Oh, here it is, pattern length. Let's make it a length of just 1. Yeah, look at that. That's nice. Now I don't need to break anymore. So, okay, let's do something and we'll do a new table again. Let's just make sure. Oh, whoops, I should have deleted this and moved it here. Okay, so now we got this new pattern in the table. So I wanted to try out this random thing. You do this range thing, you set the quantize, and then how did you randomize this again? Presets. I don't think it's an FX. This is what you get for not reading the manual yet. But I always like to see if I can figure it out without the manual too. Oh. No, that's not it. All right. We're going to get the manual so that I can remember this. So how's it going, Forrestine? Have you done any more streaming? Obviously need to read up on for Saturday's stream. Make sure I get this right. But today is just a hangout, so it's casual. Okay. I totally missed that, unfortunately. I'll have to see if there must be a recording of it. Nice. Okay. Cool. I will keep an eye out on their Twitch channel. Or no, they're on YouTube, right? They're on YouTube. Yeah. I'll keep an eye out there. That would be fun. Okay, so the table screen has columns of HP, TP, and supposedly RND. I don't know why. Oh, it might be that. Nope. Sinister sound. Did the name, the sound live up to the name? I think I have to set the range. I saw someone had troubles with this on the forums. Well, supposedly I should be able to do it with this TP column. No, doesn't seem interested in that. I can make it random hop, but I can't make it random. Do I need to like turn off some notes or something? We set the range, we set the allowed notes, set some chord, but I think so. It's one of those patching challenge things. Oh, cool. Was it like a limited number of modules or something like that? Should have an option for rand here. Oh, there it was. There we go. Okay. Let's change this. Let's make this. So in a way, you can actually make a table that does choose things almost completely randomly, but it's quantizing them to a minor chord, I guess. Doesn't quite sound right, but... Choose all kinds of chords here. This is pretty interesting. That's a great that's a great description. I like it. I'm a big fan of Halloween personally, so yeah, that's awesome. Oops. Try not to drop my mic. It's actually making an interesting pattern out of this. And then there's a special command to overwrite with any one of the notes that are in the allowed notes. So I guess if I got rid of all the sharps, we'd have something in C. Interesting. This is definitely going to need more playing with. It's already made some interesting patterns, though. Oh, perfect, because much as I love Halloween, I don't think I'm going to be involved in any trick-or-treating stuff this year, so I'll be here. Well, and my dog gets freaked out by people ringing the doorbell, so I always have to mind her. That'll be fun. I'll be on the lookout for that. All right, so this is already different. It's interesting that this hop doesn't let me, oops. I guess return the type, like. I'm not sure that this does what I think it does in terms of the set chord thing here. See what set chord does. Set the allowed notes directly to the chosen chord. Oh, you have to press the OK button. I see. Okay, so like this should be C minor now. Handy. Okay. Yeah, so this is essentially what I wanted from the vector sequencer in here, which was random generation. Well, not quite. It's somewhat of the random generation from the vector sequencer, but of course it's not set in stone here. It's actually completely randomly generated, but you can insert those little, these guys to say, pick a note that's from there somehow guaranteed, so. Anyway, interesting. Different kind of interesting, not the bad kind of interesting. It's different inflection, right? And I think I was right that coin quantizes, yeah, coin flip to decide whether it's higher or lower. And then there was all those table presets. Let's try out some more of these table presets. So a random. Random is supposed to random transpose sequence with a hop of 0 on a random step. Random transition range selected by range. Yeah. And does set chord quantize everything? Ah, yeah, it does too. So you can actually, for the thing I was talking about for the vector sequencer, you can actually do this random preset. And as long as you have the quantize set on and a chord, you get something that's in that key. That's awesome. Sort of weird in a way that it's in the tables. I would have expected it to be in patterns, just like if I wanted to do how you do it in the vector sequencer, I guess like you would have like a pattern that only has one step in it that just has a table that's of whatever length your pattern is to do the randomization. But I mean, yeah, it works. Hi, Michael. How are you? All right, so let's see a few more of these. There is a doubles, which is ratcheting. Ah, cool. Even more reason for me to try to make it. All right, so doubles is for ratcheting. It's probably way too fast. Yep, but it does work. Triples I'm not going to try because that's going to be way, way, way too fast. But then there's things for every type of chord, pretty much. Hi David, I'm looking at this is the Nerdseq. I'm just looking at some of the new features that it had in its newest firmware, playing around with them informally before I really go into them in detail on Saturday. So. Excellent, that's good to hear, Michael. Let's try a few more of these. Wow, jeez, there's chords that I do not have enough music theory knowledge to know about. A ninth major, I think, usually sounds cool if I remember. So let's try something. We got a couple of tables here. I'll double check in the firmware when we get to it on Saturday, but I believe also in the new firmware you're now able to navigate between patterns and tables like internally without having to go back and find where you use them, that's super nice. So like in this pattern I was using table 0. So I guess something I could do here would be in this pattern to have an FX. Oh, I can't use table prob. I was trying to make it, see if I could make it switch between multiple different tables, but I'm sure there's some way to do it, but I guess not exactly this way. Hi, Ed. You're loving the Typhoon so far. Great. It is an excellent module, although I am very curious since there's been a lot of hints lately that how do you pronounce her name? Emile? Is that how you pronounce it? But that they're working on a new version of clouds or something like that, which I'm not really sure what they. It'll be interesting to see because I think everyone uses clouds and all of its derivatives not exactly in the way it was actually originally intended to be used, which is kind of funny. But so I wonder where they'll go with that. Hey Zara, thanks for coming by. I'm glad that you didn't completely miss me. I'm glad to see so many people around and chatting. It's great. That's what these Wednesday streams are often about, is just hanging out and talking stuff while I play with things. So if you got any questions or stuff you want to see, by the way, feel free to let me know. I'm happy to play around with whatever people would like. This is about a socialization opportunity for those of us who are interested in this kind of thing more than anything else. So I think that there should be a way to do what I'm trying to do, to switch between multiple tables. I think the answer is actually to go in FX2. Instead of using table probability, somewhere in here, yeah, I could choose table 0, which you can hear as the other chord, and then I use FX2 probability. I think this will work. If I set this low enough. Oh, I should have picked table 1. Let's go and switch patterns. Oops, this one. So we'll always be on table 1. Okay, yeah, that did what I want. So now you can have, I could have 2 different chords running or 2 different random patterns running and jump between the 2 of them if I wanted to with a random probability. Or even jump between them in partial sequence like I'm doing here, because this is running so much faster than the actual table is. So that's neat. She's got a pretty active Reddit account. Oh yeah, really? I don't think I've actually seen that. What was there something beyond what I was mentioning about the possibility of a new clouds? Ah, yes, so this, you can navigate through tables. I was right, you hold down table and go up and down. And similarly, if you're in a pattern, you hold down pattern and go up and down. Thank goodness for this feature. Oh my goodness, it's so much better. Yeah, it's tough to say, right? Like I was saying, I don't know whether or not it's going to be something that's actually comparable to clouds, or whether it's going to be like more of the actual vision that she had for what clouds was supposed to be, and then might not actually be what you want. So I don't know. It'll be cool to see. Hey Dirty, I'm doing okay, all things considered. You? Just messing around with some of the new firmware features before the official stream on Saturday, so. I assume that you've installed the new firmware by now, because you seem to be very on top of it. If you haven't, it's very, very, very nice. You know, I bet you that I can actually just change the length of this pattern too. It's interesting how that's changed the... I wonder if I just need to stop everything. Yeah, I was just got out of sync, that's all. That's Rabbit Elephant, right, Jizra? How do you find that? It always looked like, I mean, it's a low pass gate, but everyone seems to rave about it, right? She's not working on developing anything new, and explained how long it takes to develop the modules. Clouds 2.0 was programmed, started manufacturing a year plus ago. Wow, okay. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if it takes that long, considering the number of features that go into most MI modules and their relatively small size and depth. I mean, just look at the circuit boards. I don't understand much about electronics, but it looks packed to me. Once you get that high, it's mostly logistics and management, I guess. Yeah, I mean, I suppose. I don't know what the... It's tough to say, right? Because modular is such a niche thing, right? That, like, I don't think anyone could deny that Mutual Instruments and people like Make Noise are way up there on, like, probably the top selling modules, but, like, how much is that really? I wonder. It's nuanced. It puts a few modules together to get that sound, eh? Okay. I admittedly haven't really looked at very many demos of it. I've just heard people rave, and I've always been like, oh, that's cool. That's also really expensive and hard to get. You've actually held off on the firmware. Well, so far, I mean, limited time spent with it, but I haven't had any problems. It has some very nice new features. You missed it in the beginning. What I've been doing is using the new tables thing with the quantization and chords and stuff like that. I tried out the randomization features. I tried out the different chords, the navigation between tables, which is so nice. Yeah, definitely worth it so far. Natural gates for yeah. Well, I mean, at this rate, I'm never going to get any hands on an ER301, so I need to consider some other things to put in the big hole that's been waiting for my ER301 right here. Somebody has an ER301 on Reverb. Number one, I'm not the hugest fan of buying things off Reverb, but number two, it's like $1,400 US or something like that. I'm like, whoa, somebody knows that you can't get your hands on these right now. Yeah. Filling stock, which is always you can definitely tell the difference between the smaller and bigger modular companies with how fast they manage to get their stock to retailers, for sure. And Mutable is very fast, very fast. Holy crap, 1,800, that's insanity. I would never pay that. After the duty and shipping for, isn't it like 800 or 900 USD or something like that? I thought it was more like that. Duty and shipping can't be that much. $1,000 difference? That seems obscene. David, I have not tried the Hermod itself. I have used the Pyramid sequencer, so like the non-Eurorack version of it. I would say that if you compare it to that, the Nerdseq is a lot more powerful in a lot of ways, a lot easier to work with because of the larger screen. The Pyramid, and I assume therefore the Hermod, lent itself very well to like pre-composing MIDI and then playing that MIDI out through the module and adding in random MIDI effects, right? Like the Hermod has or the Pyramid at least had like MIDI delays, which were just like taking a note and sending out copies of it that were at slightly lower velocities to make like a trailing delay and things like that. So I had a lot of fun with that, but I don't like composing on my computer. So, and the small screen's a real pain in the ass. Has the Vector fallen out of favor, Ed? I am not sure yet. So I've been playing around with the Nerdseq for the past number of weeks now to see from a comparison perspective about what I think, and it's pretty close. Especially with the new firmware, which I'll go over in more detail on Saturday. They're getting pretty the features that I wanted out of Vector are getting pretty close to being here in Nerdseq. Plus, Nerdseq is quite a lot more powerful than Vector Sequencer, I think, in a lot of ways. It's a lot more complicated, and it's more compositional than randomization, which I'm still not sure whether I like or not yet. But just from my personal workflow, not having a huge amount of music theory knowledge, but it's a good possibility that I will end up replacing it. The other big thing that it's got going for it is once they release the HDMI outs from this, so that I can capture this screen and let you guys see the sequencer up close while everything else is going on without having to deal with cameras and stuff. Yeah, I'm pretty sure, Gregonator, that they were looking to make a profit off that. That's an insane amount of markup, even with duty and any of that other stuff. I guess, I mean, I don't know. I guess unless they've used one of those companies that like pays that, you have to pay the obscene shipping and handling, or not shipping and handling, like the handling and fees and whatnot. But even then, it's not going to be that much. You compose right on your AirMod. Wow, that's oh, never by programming notes in with it. With MIDI, yeah, with MIDI. Okay, I get it. Yeah. Yeah, and from MIDI to CV, I would agree with that. Even when I was using the Pyramid, it had CV outs and useful for that kind of thing as well. Yeah, that's what I've been playing around with now. Is in the tables now in the newest firmware in the Nerdseq, you can actually have it generate completely random patterns that are quantized to a certain scale, or and that continuously are random, or you can have it generate a set pattern that's random and also quantized. It's kind of odd that it's done through tables rather than through patterns, but like. Here, I can do that. I'll do it right now. Let's change this one. Instead of being a 9th major, we'll set it to the random preset. And now it's generated a random pattern for us, but it's quantized into C minor. And quantization is set to randomly choose whether it goes up or down a note if it picks something that isn't quantized, so. It's not nearly as interesting though. Let's go back to what we had going here. 9th minor. Wow, everyone! Thanks for being here. There's so much chat going on, I can barely keep up. that's a nice change. Yeah, the MIDI effects I always thought was interesting and something very unique about Pyramid, and therefore I assume AirMod. As a MIDI looper, interesting. Like you record into like you'd use a guitar looper, but with MIDI notes instead. Yeah, I still need to play around with all of that input stuff with the Nerdseq. I still haven't done really anything with it yet. Supposedly with the new firmware, you have to like recalibrate your inputs or something like that, so I gotta double check how that works. I might need to find my multimeter. Yeah, it's nice. It's great to have so many of you here and chatting. It's much more fun this way. And Ed, you're an Eloquencer guy. I did used to use the Eloquencer, but I used it back not very long after release, and I don't know if you had it at that time, but it was quite buggy. Like to the point of key presses not registering and stuff like that, so I quickly got very frustrated with it and gave up. I'm sure it's improved since then, I would not be surprised. Especially considering they've released an expander and all that kind of thing. Just don't ever make the mistake I did, all of you out there. Do not buy a Fluxus 1. It's been abandoned. All the promises of what was going to be in it are not freaking in it. It's very frustrating. I have not tried out the Sega Pad yet. Unfortunately, the support is actually not fully there for it. It only really supports 3 buttons of the 6-button controller. So you can't. The real advantage that, as I understood of the Sega Pad, was that then you can customize the other 3 buttons to be whatever functions you want. But it ends up there's just these 3 buttons and the D-pad, and I don't see much advantage in that over the buttons that exist just yet. But once that is fixed, I will definitely be trying it. That's really interesting, using it as a MIDI looper. I had never thought of that during my time having a Pyramid. Very cool. Basil made a specific MIDI looper. That seems like very niche. We'll look and see what other things that I can play with here that have changed around a little bit. Sega pad was to forget the panel and do everything with the pad. Yeah, and you definitely can't do that, unfortunately. Not in the current iteration, anyway. I think the 3 buttons are only like play, stop, and OK or something like that. Don't quote me on that, but they're not. You can't get to all of these functions in here, certainly with the gamepad. I'm tempted by the Launchpad integration that they have to be able to see more, see the tracks and whatnot, and be able to like choose or see the patterns and choose a pattern by, instead of having to scroll to it, being able to just press the pad. But I also don't have the room in my current setup here to have it. So one thing that I wanted to try too that they added was the envelopes to the automation side of things. Yeah. Wait. I gotta remember how we get into this again. Oh, which button are you again? Oh, no. So they added them to the automators, and I think that they may have also been added here. Oops. Let's just assign a track quickly to the more CV. Keep that pattern going. Unfortunately, there's still not tables or patches for the CV expander, which is sadness, but I feel like they added envelopes here, if I recall seeing that. Let's see if I can find it. Yeah, you can do envelopes from here now. I don't think you could do that before. Yeah, I guess you're right. You'll still only have 2 thumbs. Harkening back to the tracker beginnings, yeah. Well, that's a good point. I guess that they would have started with keyboards, right? Yeah. But I mean, weren't there a number of classic trackers that were on like console type systems? Ah, yeah, as you said. Yep. Yeah, Cedric, you're very right. It has a lot of outputs. You can send a lot of stuff. It's quite a beast, and I have an assimilator too, right up here. And the same deal. Like, the assimilator is complex, but it's nothing compared to this. And I have a feeling when one day, you know, sometime around the explosion of the sun, I get my hands on an ER301. That will be an even bigger jump in complexity, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I've definitely got to read more about the envelopes things. I know it didn't exist here before, and now you can do it, but yeah, we'd have to set this out to like mod 1. Does it loop if I just do this? I'm not actually sure. I'm gonna send this CV somewhere and see if it does something. That was not what I meant to do. Play. Automate. I'm sure it's sending something, but I don't have an oscilloscope to know. Actually, I guess I could send it out to like something that has an LED. That'll tell me. Or it won't. Mod 1, right? Needs the manual. Yeah, oh, I don't doubt that he's going to get there with tables and patches for the expanders. Like, I mean, the amount of stuff that he releases every single time he does one of these things is crazy. So, like, yeah, no doubt it will get there. I would definitely go IntelliGel as well. I had a rack brute, the 6U rack brute, and I ran out of space very quickly. And I found that it was also at a sort of awkward angle unless you were sitting down. Yeah, something about it didn't work for me in that respect, so. Yes, the 1U stuff is great. So many, like, I mean, I've got tons of utilities all in here and up there, and I need to expand on it more. That would just take up space for more interesting modules that I want to put in that are only 3U. So. Damn all you Vancouverites, I'm so jealous. The kickstand setup is great. I mean, there's two different positions you can put the kickstand in, and then if you get two cases and join them, you essentially get a third position, or you can even buy the joiner and not use a second case for a third position for them to be in. Yeah. Yeah, no worries, Gregonator, it's fine. And yeah, HP gets very expensive indeed if you want a good case. The other nice thing about the IntelliGel cases is that their power supplies are pretty much rock solid. Like, I've filled both of my IntelliGel cases multiple times with a ton of very hungry modules and never had power issues. So, it seems to be the case sometimes in cheaper cases, where you actually have to really actively watch how much power you're trying to pull, which is, yeah. Yeah, literally, Jazara, fucking literally. It was minus, I don't know, 14 and snowing this time last week. And it's supposed to be 24 degrees on Monday, so, you know. You're right, Cedric. Doing a full 7U can be expensive, but I mean, it depends on what you want, what you're doing with it, right? Like, if you're really into DIY, you can usually end up getting stuff done for a lot cheaper, depending on your taste for modules. I mean, I don't want to be super stereotypical, but I feel like if you like to do more classic sort of house or techno stuff, so in some ways you can get away with a lot of cheaper modules, I think, personally. But I mean, Yeah, me too, Dr. Felix. I really wish they hadn't this skiff here would 100% be an IntelliGel one if they hadn't discontinued the damn thing. And Michael, I do use the covers for my 7U, both of the 7U IntelliGel ones. They're great. I've traveled on planes with them 5 or 6 times now. They're perfect size for carry-on. No one ever complains about anything. They get a little, the cases get a little, or what am I saying? The cover gets a little bit dinged up if you're not careful, but I mean, whatever, it kind of looks cool. Although if you're going to do that, I would advise, if you're getting an IntelliGel one, don't get the stealth black case, because I think it shows scratches a lot more easily. Yeah, that's a good point, Miss Dirty. I totally forgotten about how there's that weirdly, what is it, like a 5 HP power supply or something like that? It's one of those evil modules that's an uneven number of HP that just messes with everything. Yeah, I guess just don't scratch them. That's the obvious answer, right? Yeah. I don't know. I like the silver aesthetic personally, but everyone seems to love the black. The black's always the thing that disappears fastest. Which one of your 7 of them, Jajor, or all of them have lasted with no scratches? Yeah, IntelliGel's 1U stuff is usually not hugely hard to get. I mean, if you live in the States, bizarrely, you automatically have an easier time of getting it from the Canadian company than those of us in Canada do from getting it from a Canadian company, so... All of them. Man, you must baby your cases, Jajor. It's funny that the Moog store stocks IntelliGel stuff. I mean, I guess Moog isn't into Eurorack, so it makes sense, but it's still kind of funny. You're completely right about that, Gregonator. Yeah, it definitely is. You have to... I would never advise anyone to get into Eurorack purely for the musical output. You're probably going to be able to make better stuff on your computer. Probably. But it will probably, but well, depending on your preference, it might not be as fun. And yeah, for me, it's all about being on the computer feels like work. And I like tactile stuff, so I like having knobs and things to press and stuff like that, so... I don't really care if it doesn't sound as good as it could. It sounds as good as I want it to, and I have a better time with it. You're literally on your floor right now. Jajor, do you live in one of those CPU manufacturing facilities where everyone's in jumpsuits and stuff? Expensive adult beeping Legos. I like it. I like it. Yes, I've seen that a lot lately locally too, Gregonator. Lots of people who are cashing out because they... I mean, it's a different mindset, right? If you're going into things from the perspective of I want to make albums and albums and albums, and I want to be a musician who releases stuff and things like that, it's like doubly as hard, like you said, to do it in Eurorack. But if you're doing it for the fun of figuring out what kind of cool sounds you can make, releasing stuff every once in a while, coming up with fun accidents, then it makes sense, right? Like, well, yeah, too, and like if you're a musician and you're one of those types of people who knows, who like can picture or hear in their mind the sort of sound they want and can understand what modules go into creating the exact sound they want, and you can keep it constrained to that and treat it as like a single instrument, rather than like trying to do like I do here, where I have like a mixer and all this sort of stuff all built in here, then like that's another way to sort of approach modular, I think, right? Like, you live in a house with kids and your case is fine. Wow, you are lucky. Yes, definitely I've learned more about sound concepts with modular than I have with anything else. I mean, I could have learned all the other ways. It would have been a lot less expensive, but this was more fun. So. Yes, complex dilemma, you are completely right. It's definitely something I advise for people to, when they're first looking at getting into modular, is to check out their local trading scene. Because if it's really strong, like here, there's a pretty strong trading scene, and I mean, almost any module that I buy, there's been a few exceptions that have been tough to sell, but most of them I can sell within a couple weeks, and I get, 70 to 80% of what I bought it for if I bought it new. So yeah, makes it much easier and less risky in a way. And like you said, you can also fill up your modular with a bunch of used modules and do great, right? Like, but you're right. For the price of the 7U, you could buy, you could buy a pretty powerful PC and like tons of plugins and things like that, and make a whole bunch of other stuff. But I mean, like, I guess it depends on what you like, right? Do you like clicking around on notes, or like playing from a MIDI keyboard and like really fine-tuning every little bit of your song and like, drawing in automations yourself? Or do you like to experiment and see what kind of cool stuff happens when you send something an audio signal into something that's meant to be CV, or crazy stuff like that, right? Yes, I could see why, from an engineering perspective, it would be appealing. For me, it's very similar, Michael, in that I have a computer science background, so this feels very much in a lot of ways like programming to me, but programming with a creative outlet as an output rather than sort of a more logical output, if you get what I mean. Yeah, semi-modular can be a good way to go, I think. I agree with you. I guess it depends on your level of dedication, I guess. Like if you like knobs and hands-on stuff and you want to understand the guts of how things work, you might not get enough out of a semi-modular, but I mean, people make amazing stuff with semi-modulars. Like I've heard so much really good ambient work that's just like a stack of 3 Mother 32s with some like pedals, like really great stuff. So. That's the elitist way. So many people are like that now. That was my level of constraint with this, was trying to stick in the modular space so that I can't, because I could occasionally I bring in guitar and I have pedals and things like that, but like the more I constrain myself into the modular space, I don't run into as much of that problem that Jor was talking about having the world at your fingertips stops you creating. I definitely have those moments, for sure, but I guess that is one other really big advantage of Eurorack, is that, you know, there's a unit of measurement of HP, right? And once you run out of HP, it's a major financial investment to get more. So you sort of become self-limiting in a way, unless you're Jor and have like 8 cases. Succulents were too cheap. I love it. Yeah, that's my exact problem, Dirty, is that in the box my brain goes numb. Yeah, there's too much, and there's too many distractions, and there's too many excuses to not do things. But in here, if I sit down away from my computer and I'm playing with this stuff, like, I mean, most of you have seen a lot of my streams. I just try random things and see what happens, and sometimes it turns out awesome, sometimes it turns out crap, but like, I just try things because I'm not getting distracted by some YouTube video, or I'm not getting, you know, going down a rabbit hole of some VST plugin that has like 40,000 parameters on it. Yeah, sure, I wouldn't be too surprised. I wouldn't be too surprised. And I think it's also the difference in interfaces too. Like, I mean, Nerdseq is a small computer in the end, but it, you know, I'm not using a mouse and keyboard on it, and I don't. They're apparently eventually going to release a thing that will allow you to use a keyboard with Nerdseq, but I'm not entirely sure I would actually want to use it. I feel like somehow typing would actually kill it for me. Multi-clock. Is that one of those like little sync box things? Hi, Brian. Okay, wow, time flies. That was a very, very quick hour with so many of you here chatting. That was really, I think this is the most people I've ever had on a stream, so that was really cool. Thank you, everyone, for being here and for talking with me and talking with each other, and I'm glad that we all had a fun little conversation about stuff. I'm here most Wednesdays for those of you who are new. Sometimes I will do streams that have actual topics. Sometimes it'll just be like this. I'll mess around with some patches, we'll hang out, we'll chat modular stuff, we'll chat new gear, whatever else happens to be on people's minds. I did. Lots of chat this time. It's a rare change. So it was nice to see. So just a reminder that Saturday, oh my goodness, I believe I set it for 11 Mountain Time, which is I think 5 p.m. UTC. I'll be going over the new firmware update for the Nerdseq in more detail than I sort of messed around with things today. So if you're interested, drop by. There's a good possibility that Thomas, the creator of Nerdseq, might actually hang out in the chat and answer questions and help us out with anything. So yeah, definitely keep an eye out. And yeah, so I will hopefully see some more of you again on Saturday for that stream, and if not, maybe next Wednesday. Probably be another Hangout stream, but we'll see if I have any particular topics. What's that in a real time zone? 11, well, it's 5 UTC, 11 Mountain Time, what, noon Central. You're in the UK or something, aren't you, Jajura? So. Yes, it is crazy that there are 23 people in chat. It's, yeah, I really appreciate it, everybody. Yeah, I'm gonna have to have moderators one of these days. I know, I hope, I don't want to get to that. I like being able to talk to all of you, so. All right, I'm out of here. Everyone have a good night, and hopefully I'll see some of you soon. Take care.